take the pleasure and honor to welcome you all at the third day and first session of this 5 days online faculty development program on Unblocked Blockchain that is conducted by Information Technology Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. I am again welcomes to Dr. P. Raghuvamsi sir, who has already enlightening us with a great knowledge in the previous yesterday afternoon session. Now I would like to request Dr. P. Raghuvamsi sir to kindly present his enlightening talk on Solidity smart contracts, Solidity programming, designing and coding Solidity smart contract. So, shall you proceed, sir?
Okay.
Thank you.
So before, first of all, we are supposed to uh, set up the environment before moving into the solidities and smart contracts. So whenever we want to go for the decentralized application development, so you are supposed to first of all set up the environment, then you can go for the developing of the product. So for that, we have several open source platforms available and tools also available that we need to set up in our system. I don't know how many of you have set up the system previously, but I will give you some glimpse of what are the various systems that can be what are the various systems and tools that can be set up. So here, first, what I'm going to explain is installing Ethereum and Truffle on Windows 10. So here, Ethereum is the blockchain framework, and Truffle is a command-based development environment for automatic generation of the supporting folders for smart contracts, testing code, and the configuration script or any other supporting libraries. At the same time, supporting modules such as local servers, HTTP servers, mail servers, or maybe any other thing. So Truffle is a one kind of all-in-one environment where you can compile the smart contracts, you can test the smart contracts, and also uh, you can also launch the same smart contract onto the test networks, and you can test it from the command prompt itself. So that is what the Truffle IDE is. So in order to do this, first of all, you need to ensure that Windows 10 is up to date. So whatever the drive link I have given, in that drive link, this is the drive link that you will get once you fill the form. So in this drive link, some resources are there in which you will be finding the same file that I am showing now. That is installing Ethereum and Truffle on Windows 10. So this is what the installing Ethereum and Truffle on Windows 10. If you can open, if you want to install the Truffle and Ethereum on your Windows 10 platform, because we always used to do, because nowadays all the computers are coming with the Windows 10 Home Edition, or based upon the configuration of the system, they may give the Professional Edition. So if you want to make your system secure, or if you want to if you don't want to disturb the already existing Windows environment, so it is better uh, don't install on the Windows. Better you use the OVA file and install the Oracle Virtual Machine, and in that you can set up. Otherwise, if you want to set up on the Windows, then you can go to the opening of the command prompt as an administrator mode. So copy the file following code onto the command prompt, and the reason is here this is the all-time environment or one-time environment where you can install anything related to the blockchain development that are supported by the environment name called Chocolatey. So copy the following on the command prompt. The following on the command prompt. Enter to start the Chocolatey installation. So Chocolatey installation is a kind of environment where you can download and install the packages, node packages, or maybe any other supporting packages related to the node, JavaScript based, this kind of thing. So this is uh, this code has to be copied and pasted onto your command prompt. Then you will get a Choco update chocolate. check the Chocolatey version, and using Chocolatey, you can install the Node.js. So either you may go to the Node.js website and you can install the Node.js, or you may also directly use the Chocolatey, and with that you can go for installation. So this is what the coming back to this. So install the Node.js Git, that is GitHub Visual Studio code via Chocolatey. Next one is npm install npm, and for this installation, Ethereum installation and Truffle installation, you need to have the production of the Windows build tools, and you need to have the test RPC to be installed and Truffle. And remember, when you are going to do this, first of all, your Windows 10 should be up to date. Then only it will be compatible. So then, how can you test the commands? Just you can use simply create a folder, and in this create the folder, if you use Truffle in it, then automatically the related folder will be created, and thereby you can run your you can start working on the code. So this is what the installation on the Windows 10. Next, while coming to this, I have also placed some other things like installing Ethereum DApp environment in the thing. So you can also open this file side by side. So these are the steps which you need to follow in order to have this particular DApp development environment. Installing Ethereum on Ubuntu or Debian Flavor Linux operating systems. As usual, the system should be up to date, and active internet connection is required. The reason is Truffle require active internet connection. Okay, so Truffle, in order to work with the Truffle, you need to have the active internet connection. Installation steps on Ubuntu operating system. So this is a sudo apt-get update and sudo apt-get install. This is the steps you are supposed to follow. Then actually, in order to do this, you need to add this particular step. The reason is here, from key server, you will get receive the key. With this key, the Ethereum installation will happen. Then go for the update. So for this, Mist browser is there. Now Mist browser is not in use currently. You can use either the Ganesh or MetaMask for that. So if you want to install this Mist browser, because Mist browser is the default browser that it's an official and a default browser, you can say, for the Ethereum wallets. So still people are using Mist browser, no problem. You can also do open URL and go to this releases and download the latest wallet as per your system architecture. And then this is the simple. Actually, whenever you download this, you will be having this particular Debian file that you can download it. Then sometimes some of the Ethereum, like as I told you in the last lecture, that Web3.js kind of libraries, there are some versions are there, like a 0.19 version, 0.1.7 version. Currently 1.7 is going on. So each and every version consisting of its own way of functionalities. Some different modules might have been added, or some modules might have upgraded. These kind of things were happened. So so that is the reason you may also install the node version manager. So you can switch back and forth from the one version to other version of the node, so that it will be compatible with the Web3.js version that you use for the development. So here is a statement. Here is a commands with which you can download and install the NVM, and you may also install Ganesh in the client version, that is command line version, CLI version, or GUI version. And in order to compile the Solidity program, you need to have the Solc compiler. That is, this is a Solc is the Solidity compiler, and Truffle is as I told you just now, is complete environment. And HTTP server is required for the web application development. The reason is I have given you in the last lecture. Yeah, here I have shown you in the graph that external system that we are going to build, where we will be having this web server tier, DB tier, and client tier. In order to have this web server, a local web server you can download and install so that you can test your application. So for that purpose, this particular web server that we are supposed to use. So this one. So npm install -g HTTP server is especially for this purpose. Next one is installing NPFS. And if you want to install the IPFS platform for storing the files, then you can use IPFS platform and installation like this. The reason is we have seen in the blockchain development, one thing is you are supposed to use the two things, like one is on chain and another is off chain. On chain means the hash code of the resources that will be incorporated in the blockchain, which is called on chain. Actual resource will be kept on either on DB or maybe on the platforms like IPFS. So for that purpose, you are supposed to install this particular IPFS platform. If you can use, you can. If you want to use, you can use. Otherwise, you may use the local database also. So here are the references for the installation, how the installation has to be done and all. So these are the series of steps you are supposed to follow for installing and setting up the DApp environment. And next file is installing Hyperledger Fabric. So here, this is the installation of Hyperledger Fabric. So far in the Ethereum and Truffle, we tried to manage installation on the Windows 10 platform with the help of Chocolatey. But for Unix, for Hyperledger Fabric installation, there is no mechanism to install the Fabric on the Windows operating system. So in Windows also, because this Hyperledger Fabric related files will be installed under the Docker. So this Docker, if your Windows consisting of the Docker installation, then you may try to install it. But still, it's somewhat difficulty. There is a difficulty in installation and setup of the Hyperledger on Windows environment. It is more compatible for installing for the Linux operating systems, where you can easily download and install it. But still, in Linux operating system, so many other pre-configuration steps you are supposed to follow. So for this, you can go through the web link here, given link. Installing Docker. So sudo apt install. These are the series of packages that are required for installing Docker. Docker is a container where you will be installing based upon the Docker configuration file. You will be installing the related and supporting libraries for a software. I hope you may be knowing about the Docker. So knowing of further explanation is required. So these are the series of steps you are supposed to follow for installing Docker, and then go for updating of the system. Then Docker container, just you install it. Then create a Docker user and install the Docker Composer. Then install Golang, because the Hyperledger Fabric, the backend is Golang and Java. In these two, it was developed. While coming to the Ethereum, it has used Golang and Python for development. That is the architecture development. So Hyperledger Fabric, where you are supposed to install the Golang, then these are the series of steps you are supposed to follow. Then this is path setting of the Golang. Then installing Node.js, and here this is a Node.js installation. Again, already if you might have already installed Node.js, it's well and good. But this Node.js, what you are installing, is for the current Docker user, whatever the Docker user you are going to create. Then you just to simply follow the path setting and Composer CLI and REST server, Hyperledger Composer. These are the installation, and installing the Hyperledger. So it starts downloading the Fabric file into the Docker. Then how to test your network. So this is the way you can test the network, by going into the Fabric samples first network. So if all these things are successfully done, then these last two steps will be executed successfully. Otherwise, the system may end up in some trouble. So to avoid all these things, because if you ask the students to do this series of steps, obviously sometimes they may do some mistakes, and also it requires a lot of internet connectivity and internet wastage also is there. So that is the reason what I have done is when I am teaching the MTech course for the blockchain, I have created the virtual machine environment, OVA environment, that is BodhiBCOS environment. So we have already seen that Linux is a very compatible environment for installing this Hyperledger, Ethereum and all. So I have chosen Debian flavor of the Linux called Bodhi Linux, which is a very lightweight operating system. In this Bodhi Linux, I have installed the Ethereum and supporting tools, Hyperledger and Cordra R3. These three these three environments I have installed in this Bodhi Linux. See, generally, the Bodhi Linux is a very lightweight operating system and very fast operating system, you can say. That Linux kernel plus three blockchain platforms, but it combines to 6.3 GB itself. So that means how much flexible this operating system is that you can think of. Next one is you can go to the VM setup. Here you will find a file called VM setup, virtual machine setup. So this virtual machine setup file consisting of how to download and how to install set up the OVA file. So just you can open this file. I hope you may also be doing side by side. So it's well and good if you can do. So here I am providing here the Bodhi Linux image with Ethereum Hyperledger and Coder R3 for other required tools installed. So for this, you need to have the Oracle Virtual Machine environment. So this is the Oracle Virtual Machine environment. I think you might have downloaded and installed Oracle Machine Virtual Box Manager. So once you download it and install, just to open it. After downloading, you should also download the extension pack. So VirtualBox extension pack. So this is the VirtualBox environment. So go to the Windows host. So you can download the Windows host software here like this. Or once after installing, then you can go here, just scroll down, and here you will find VirtualBox 6.1.36 Oracle VM VirtualBox extension pack. So what is the advantage of this extension pack? With this extension pack, you can enable USB 2.0. That means whenever you insert the pen drive, USB drive, you can directly access from the virtual machine. So USB 2.0, 3.0, and disk encryption, and many other facilities for the Intel cards like graphics processing and all. So these are all supported in this extension pack. So you are recommended to use this extension pack. At the same time, if you want to share the files between the host operating system and guest operating system, see here host operating system means your Windows 10 is the host operating system. Guest operating system means whatever the operating systems that you deploy on the virtual machine. So you can share the files between these two. So all these facilities are available in the extension pack. So you are supposed to download the extension pack. All supported platforms, you just to download it. Once you download, open the virtual machine manager and go to the file and import up preferences. In this preferences, you will find extensions. This is the tab, extensions tab you will find. Just to click on extensions and select the extension file that you have downloaded. And from that, you install this extension file. So once you install, then it will give a tick mark like this, active, and the installation successful. Once it is installation successful, then your virtual machine is now ready for this, this whatever the things was told here. Okay. So I hope by this time you come to know how to install the Oracle virtual machine and how to set up the extension pack. Once you do this, then next step is download the OVA file that I have given. So this is what we call OVA file that I have provided you. So download this OVA file. Once you download the OVA file, so and also please ensure that make sure that at least you should have 20 GB free space on the hard disk. Okay. So you may be having several drives in your computer. So you choose a drive where for installing of the virtual machine, where at least 20 to 40 GB of free space should be available. The reason is you may find this BodhiBCOS as a 6.8 GB, but whenever it is running, it will go up to 40 GB. So that is the reason you are supposed to have at least of 40 GB space in your hard disk. Then once you do this, you can go for now setting up of your setting up of the OVA file. How this particular OVA file will be set up? Just go to the VM virtual box, go to the file and import appliance. Click on import appliance and choose the appliance that is what the OVA file that I have given. Open virtual architecture or open virtual platform architecture file that I have given. Just to select it from where you have downloaded, just to select that particular OVA file and just click on open. And you can simply go for next, because everything was set up in that. So no need to reset up anything. Just click on next. Then automatically it will take, depending upon the configuration of your computer, it will take 3 to 4 minutes. Or sometimes maybe if it is a somewhat older computer, it may take from 10 minutes to import the image into your virtual box. Once it is imported, proceed to the next step. So to not to waste time, I have already imported the BodhiOS BCOS. So here you can find here BodhiBCOS is already available here. So once it is installed, depending upon your configuration, you may configuration of your computer, you may adjust the set of configurations of the BCOS. You can go to settings, and in the settings you may go for changing of this configuration, like system configuration. Anyhow, I have allotted 4 GB of memory for this. In order to run this BodhiBCOS Linux operating system, 2 GB is sufficient. If you have enough memory in your computer, you can allot some more memory for this, so that the system will become very faster. Then display 64 MB, because the graphics display, at least you need to have 64 MB. These are all by default it will be set. If you want to increase it based upon your configuration, you can do it. Why I am telling all these things is for comfortable running of the operating system and comfortable running of the application. So next one is, if you want to have the internet connectivity, just to simply go for NAT network. So enable the network adapter to the NAT network. But in the default environment that I have provided you, so you will be finding bridge adapter. So you may use the bridge adapter or you may use the NAT adapter. So if you are running on some proprietary network like college network or some other network, then NAT network is suitable, not the bridge network or bridge adapter. So better you go for NAT network when you are running in the in college or somewhere. If you are running in your computer in your own house, like on regular broadband, then bridge adapter may be used. The reason is that if you use the bridge adapter, same series IP address will be shared between the that is guest operating system as well as host operating system, so that your university server or college server will get confused. Okay, with the same IP series, two systems or two accounts are operating. So that is the reason it will block you sometimes. So that is the reason to avoid such situation, you can make use of this NAT network. So whenever whatever the internet you are getting on your Windows 10, the same internet will be shared onto your host operating system also. Sorry, guest operating system. Here, what is the guest operating system? Bodhi Linux. So then you can also share the folder by clicking this. You can create a shared folder on the Windows 10 environment, and the same path you can go and view here, so that the same thing can also be accessed from the Linux operating system. So this is what the environmental setup that you are supposed to do. Then you can go for start. So this blockchain OVA file, Linux OVA file, consisting of three, as I told you, 3 blockchain platforms. So in order to operate them, you may use this username passwords are like this. Username there, BodhiBCOS username is there, and the password is 123456. So for the two, there are 2 users available in this operating system. So for both the users, the password is 123456 only. See here, the one who joined recently, you might have not downloaded this. Please download so that it will be easy for us. Because no need to disturb the regular ongoing environment. So simply just to install the virtual machine and in that you can. Yes, any doubt so far? Well, here is the BodhiBCOS Linux operating system, and here Hyperledger. These are the two users are there. So why I'm using two users means the BodhiBCOS, in which you will be finding the Ethereum installation and setup. In case of Hyperledger user, you will be having the Hyperledger fabric installed. Hyperledger fabric and as well as the Codra R3. So these two are there in the Hyperledger user, and in the BodhiBCOS, Ethereum is available. The reason for the two users is since the Hyperledger will run under the Docker Composer, so a separate user was created for it, and the Hyperledger was installed so that it will not disturb the regular activities of the other user. That is both the main intention why I have gone for the separate user for the Hyperledger. For both the users, the password is 123456. So here you will be finding, in addition to this, you will be finding here reference link. In this reference link, you will find several references related to this usage of the tools like IPFS platform, some blockchain interview questions, Solidity documentation, Linux documentation. Okay? These are also available. You can also go through this. So this is the Bodhi Linux environment, virtual environment. Here you can go for the command prompt in which you can test whether the Ethereum is installed or not. Via first you use the getH. So GETH, which will run the main network of the Ethereum. You can see this is the main Ethereum network, which is running on the computer. We all know that here you can look at this chain ID is equal to 1. So chain ID is the main network. Okay. So which is the homestead and DAO is true. This is the whenever chain ID is 1, that is called as main network. That means Ethereum main network you have connected and you are looking for the peer. So we all know that the Ethereum blockchain is a decentralized and a peer-to-peer blockchain. Peer means in the peer-to-peer environment, whenever any peer is active, it will check for who are the nearby peers available, and it will send hello messages. Then it will identify any other similar type of software is running on the other peers or not. So it's keep on checking for the peer. So this is with this you can come to know that some Ethereum was installed on this, and along with this one, the node is also installed. That is Node.js is also installed in this, and the Visual Studio Code is also installed. You can also make use of this Visual Studio Code and develop the code in this and compile it. And at the same time, you will also be having this Truffle installed and other all the supporting Ethereum development tools were installed in this. So whenever we are discussing the programming part, then we'll go for usage of this operating system. And if you want to work with the Hyperledger, then you should shift the user. So here the user password is also 123456. You can also type in the Hyperledger fabric running first network. So building your first network. This is the Hyperledger Fabric documentation. Just you can go through the documentation, and here you can see so many things like how you want to run it. So here, how to run your application. So you can go to the CD Fabric samples hyphen first network. Here you can see Fabric samples. This is the folder installed. So CD Fabric samples, and in this you need to choose the first test network, the first network. So where is the first network? And also here dot slash network dot sh up. The same thing, you just to follow the documentation what is available here. Whatever the documentation available here, just to follow this documentation, you will come to know how to work on it. Because I am not covering the Hyperledger Fabric here. See, you can see the Docker container was started, Docker was started, and these are the Docker files are open, and this particular fabric is running on the local host 9444, yeah, 94444 port. And if you want to go for the order, this is the test network where an example test case was given. You can copy it and you may modify it according to your need. So this is like a template example. So based upon this example, once you are supposed to understand the example, this example is already provided in the documentation. So you need to understand the example. We can say this is a template documentation, template example. If you want to start your own project, then you copy the same template and modify according to your need. And if you want to, and please remember, whenever you are you want to shut down the network, then you are supposed to do properly. That is network.sh up for the running of the system, and down for the removing of the Docker files from the Docker. So down will give you the systematic shutdown of the system. The reason is the Docker is a separate container that will sit on top of the Linux operating system. So the reason whatever is running in the Docker, you must properly shut down it. Otherwise, what will happen? There will be dangling references of the dependencies will be there. Thereby, next images cannot be properly downloaded or installed. So this kind of problems will occur. So always for every up there should be down, so that the proper starting and shutting on of the system will happen. So I'm not going to deal with each and everything. So just this is the fabric documentation. You may also go through this. Just I'm keeping in the chat box. You can also go through this. Then running Codra R3 example. So for this also beautiful documentation is available, because if you choose open source environment, obviously some beautiful documentation will be available. And here also some temporary, this is a template example, notary, party A, party B. This is a standard example is provided. Where in case of solidity examples that we have seen, we are going to see, there is a quoting example is there. That is a standard example, template example. So with that you can develop many other examples like that. In the IBM Hyperledger Fabric, you will be finding this order example, and here notary example. So download the Codra app. Already we have downloaded it. Just to go through this. So here, if you want to download using if you want to develop the development environment is Kotlin, then you use this. If it is Java, then you use this. Then you can go to this Codera application example. So for this, just to go back, because in this user only, this Codera is also installed. So CD, you can see here Codera app example. Anyhow, I have already run this program, so that is the reason. Just to go through this, so you will find this is the list of files available in this. So already build, config, this kind of things were available. This is the list of subfolders, folders available. So in this, what is the root directory? What are the clients? So if you want to install multiple clients, then you can use the clients folder and configuration settings, contracts, workflows folder, and Gradle. So this is a supporting runtime tool for the this Codera. So in which what you are supposed to do, you have to go for the Codera app examples, and you can use the deploy nodes. So whenever you go for the deploy nodes, then the nodes will be deployed based upon the configuration that you have set. In the configuration, if you might have set as some 10 clients or 10, 15 clients, so that environment will be set up here whenever you run this. So after running, so you will find this build folder. Already I have run that particular code before this session. So you will find build tool. So this build folder you will get only after running the first step. That is what the /gradle w deploy nodes. So in this you will find this is what the folders you will find. And like this, you just to keep on running the code, and you may also use the web run party X server, like how you have run the HTTP server. Like that, you can also run the server here. And whenever you run the server, you will get the screen like this. And here you can connect to the JDBC Java using this particular database connection URL. And you can also accept the incoming connections using the localhost some port number, and listening port is this one. So like that, it will start the server. Then using this, you may develop the front-end application. With the via front-end application, you may use this database connectivity via if you are running the front-end application using JSP or anything, you can use this driver. And also maybe any other front-end technology that you use, you can make use of this driver and connect to the back-end Codera application or Codera platform. So this is the abstract view of how the R3 platform that you can use. Yeah, any doubts so far? So by this time you come to know the folder and its information. In the next discussion, we will use the same tool, the same virtual machine, and we'll go for the proceeding of our programs. So first I will discuss what is the Solidity and how the Solidity programs can be written. Then we can go for writing of the programs in the next session. By the time everyone will set up this on their system, so that it will be comfortable to use this system while coming to the programming point of view. So first we'll start with the Ethereum blockchain. So we all know that Bitcoin blockchain is the mother of all blockchains. In 2013, this Vitalik from Russia, at his age of 17, 18 years age, he started the first version of the Ethereum blockchain. The specialty of this Ethereum blockchain is code execution framework, where the Bitcoin blockchain is lacking. In the Bitcoin blockchain also code execution framework is there, which is called as Bitcoin code. That is in the mission instructions. like mission language like opcode, and that cannot be written by the normal users. That is already inbuilt in the system itself. So there also this kind of execution is there, like identity verification, signature verification, minor verification, these kind of things, checkings will be there. For that, the blockchain framework consisting of the code checking or code execution, but the code execution is the code writing or the code that what they have written is not a high level language code. So that high level language code is not there in the Bitcoin blockchain. That is only opcode is there. So you need to remember the opcode. What are the different operations and mnemonics in that, and then you need to write the program. So it is a very difficult thing. So here the beauty of the Ethereum programming is Ethereum blockchain is Ethereum consisting of the cryptocurrency just like Bitcoin blockchain, as well as the code execution from the user point of view in terms of smart contract. So the central theme or objective of Ethereum is smart contract. So with which this entire, there is a revolution in the blockchain. Before this, the blockchain is called as blockchain 1.0. The reason is it is always all the blockchains there at the time are following only the Bitcoin as a blockchain, and they're considering Bitcoin blockchain is the mother of all blockchains. Because of this idea of executing the code on the blockchain, there is a revolution came in the blockchain development. Then afterwards, people started thinking of, okay, smart contracts going to be written and deployed on the Ethereum on the blockchain and executed, but how to communicate with the front end? So thereby, blockchain version 3.0 came into the picture, where decentralized applications are going to develop, and the libraries that supports to communicate with the backend data blockchain and get the information or provide the information to the blockchain and get the information from the blockchain and display onto the front end. When this particular thing is there, okay, it is moving smoothly, but later on, because of the requirements of the industry, there are many many things are involved in the industries, especially in the supply chain management, logistics, etc., where IoT devices are there, where the laser scanners will be there, barcode scanners, RFIDs, many things came into the picture. So the data which is collected from this RFIDs, sensors, and this scanning devices, everything need to be added and tied up with the uh, supply chain system or logistics system. So thereby, every transaction should be recorded and preserved onto the blockchain. So with that intention, the next development in the blockchain is blockchain version 4.0. This 4.0 consisting of all the features of the previous versions plus the support to the enterprise resource planning and also tying up with the IoTs, that is Internet of Things. So IoT plus blockchain plus decentralized application, that is what the blockchain version 4.0. Blockchain version 3.0 is completely dealing with the decentralized applications and smart contracts. 2.0 is the Ethereum one where smart contracts development is there. And the first version is the basic blockchain version, that is Bitcoin blockchain. I hope by this time you come to know what are the different versions of the blockchain so far. Any doubts so far? So Ethereum is a blockchain with computational framework which leads to development of decentralized applications. So the following shows the difference between the Bitcoin and Ethereum. As usual, the general hardware will be there. On top of hardware, the network operating system was installed. This network operating system is like this. It's a peer-to-peer network operating system. It may be of any operating system where peer-to-peer support is required. Where in case of Bitcoin, you will be having the Bitcoin blockchain protocol operation and wallets and exchanges. So these are the only layers on top of the operating system if whenever you work with the Bitcoin. See, this wallet or exchange applications are of two categories. One is of the full clients and full systems. Full clients and normal clients. Full clients are nothing but they can also do the mining operation. Normal clients are the one they can only see the simple transactions and what is the minimum, what is the balance they are having, this kind of things. For example, you might have downloaded and installed the Bitcoin wallet on the mobile platforms that will come under the normal wallet. In that, you cannot do the mining operation. You can only see the transactions happening in the system and what is your transactions and what is your balance and what is your latest transaction. These are the things only you can see in the wallet. So this exchange application and wallet are two categories. One can be used for the mining purpose and one is for the normal user. So this is the architecture which is related to the Bitcoin. This is very tightly coupled with the operating system. But the Ethereum is quite different. Like how the JVM has achieved the platform independence, like that, the Ethereum blockchain consisting of an Ethereum virtual machine. The responsibility of the virtual machine is to compile the smart contract code and generate into the bytecode. So on top of this EVM, you will be having an application framework where you will develop the smart contract. If you compile the smart contract using Solidity compiler, that compiler will generate the compiled program into bytecode. That bytecode can be executed on the Ethereum blockchain virtual machine. That is called EVM, Ethereum virtual machine. On top of the smart contract, you go for the installation of the verticals like end user application. You can have any number of end user applications that can be written on top of the application framework of smart contracts, which is what the thing called decentralized applications that you can develop. Because of the flexibility of the Ethereum virtual machine, irrespective of the operating system, you can install the Ethereum. As I have shown you previously, you can also install the Ethereum comfortably on the Windows platform as well as on the Linux platform. So the reason is because of the virtual machine. Where Hyperledger Fabric, I told you that it's very difficult to download and install on the Windows 10, but on the Linux operating system, you can install the Docker, and via Docker container, you can pull the containers from the IBM site, the Fabric site, and you can set up in that. So this is what the advantage, which changed the entire architecture of the blockchain. So that is the reason Ethereum has become very famous, and still people are working on the Ethereum application development because of its flexibility. Flexibility in terms of supporting to the cryptocurrency as well as smart contracts and having number of libraries to connect with the decentralized application or developing of various dApps. Where in case of Bitcoin, you don't have the smart contract facility, but you have the cryptocurrency. In the Ethereum, where you can generate the public network and also consortium network. Where in case of Bitcoin, it is a public network. So because of these advantages, the Ethereum has gained significant attention in the academics and research. In the Bitcoin, whatever the code which is written are in the mnemonics or the mission level code or hardware code, where here high level language has been used. So high level languages are easy to understand. At the same time, it is very faster to run Ethereum. The reason is the Ethereum has been developed in the Golang and Python environment. And there is a Ethereum open chain community is there. They are keeping track of the Ethereum development models So much support will be available for you if you go for finding of, or if you stuck up with any development code or anything. Many sites are available where you will where the huge number of discussions are happening, active interactions are happening, active way of giving the answers are happening. So with that, you can have this particular that is, your doubts can be resolved, or your problems can be rectified, or the related source codes may also be available that you can simply modify it and you can use it for your application. So that is what the advantage of the Ethereum over the Bitcoin blockchain. Now we'll come to the what is smart contract. The theory you might have studied, you might have gone through previously. So it is a piece of code that is included in the blockchain node, which is called as smart contract. Messages embedded in the blockchain initiates the execution of the smart contract. So when it will initiate the execution of smart contract upon some condition. If condition is achieved, some messages will that message will be executed, and thereby the contract will be executed. Digital currency simply have additions and subtraction. So whatever the Bitcoin cryptocurrency is there, in which you have only the addition and subtraction. That is, A has sent some BTCs to B, and B has received this BTC. So there is a subtraction from the A and addition to the B. So this kind of things will happen only. But digital currencies simply have addition and subtraction operation. On the other hand, Ethereum have conditions for transaction. Upon condition, okay. Yesterday I have discussed one example. If the aeroplane or flight was delayed by 1 hour, then the amount has to be refunded. Just like that, look at here. Consider an auction process. The condition may be written as: if age is greater than 18 and the minimum bid is met, then accept the bid, otherwise reject the bid. This is the condition. In the same way, consider an insurance company. The condition may be written as: if flight arrival time minus scheduled time is greater than 1 hour, then grant the insurance. Else, don't grant the insurance. Consider an automatic debit system. If minimum balance is greater than 5,000 and today is the second day of the month, then initiate the money transfer. Otherwise, initiate the alarm to the customer. So whenever this kind of if-else conditions are there, and any contract has to be executed based on the if-else condition, that is on the condition, then this smart contract can be deployed there.